Over 52 years ago, the Victorian government published one of the most significant documents to shape the future of Melbourne, the 1969 Melbourne Transportation Plan. This plan was a comprehensive study and report that proposed building a massive amount of infrastructure to cater for the city's rapid growth. It represented a fundamental shift in Victoria's transport systems that largely persists to this day, as it prioritised private cars as the main form of transport. This was a product of the time, as 1969 was around the height of car-centric urban planning in many Western countries. As a result, even though it was called a transportation plan, it was really a massive expansion program to build a whole lot of new roads. You can see this just by looking at the budgets, as over 85% of the proposed spending was on roads and car parking. The main reason why this came about was the growing American influence on engineers in Australia. Many transport officials had gone on tours to America to be taught the virtues of building new freeways, while other Australian planners and engineers had been exposed to this thinking by visiting Americans. You can see this influence even just in the name, because it uses the American word transportation instead of transport. So what did the plan actually propose? Well, its centrepiece was hundreds of kilometres of new freeways, 23 in all, about half of which have been built since. These roads were aligned as a rough grid across the suburbs of Melbourne to create a massive network of freeways, arterials and ring roads. There was a long list of other road infrastructure to support the rapidly growing number of cars as well. This included removing 80 level crossings, building new bridges and creating more car parking across the inner city. There was no money allocated for walking or cycling, but there were some public transport projects proposed. These included the Doncaster Rail Line and the City Loop, as well as new trains, trams and buses. After the plan was published, there was huge public outcry over some of the proposed routes. The 1970s saw what were called the Freeway Wars, filled with scenes like this one on Alexandra Parade protesting the construction of the Eastern Freeway. These included street marches, petitions and blockades. This backlash resulted in the state government formally axing many of the proposed freeways just a few years later. These included the F2 through Brunswick and Clifton Hill, the F6 along Darebin Creek and the Outer Circle line to Moorabbin, and the F14 through Albert Park and St Kilda. But despite successive governments officially distancing themselves from this plan, many of the roads were in fact built, even if this wasn't formally done as part of the plan. Eastlink, CityLink, Craigieburn Bypass, and many others were all included in the 1969 plan under different names and have all been constructed since. More recent examples include the North East Link and the Mordialloc Freeway, which have currently been built. The most recent example, though, is from 2010. A plan called Proposed 2040 Road Network Development was leaked from Vic Roads, showing major road projects under consideration. This had more than a passing resemblance to the 1969 plan and included many of their original freeway routes. It remains to be seen now how much of this will actually be implemented. So that's a quick summary of the 1969 Melbourne Transportation Plan. This starts a kind of mini-series of videos where I'll be covering some of the individual projects in the future. There will be a link to the playlist somewhere here on the screen and in the video description so you can have a look. To stay up to date when a new video is released, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like this introductory video, please feel free to click the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments or via my website at philipmallis.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.